We're saying happy birthday today to a politician and activist who was one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s right-hand men during the civil rights movement of the 60s.
Andrew Young helped draft the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. He'd go on to be a diplomat during the Carter administration and the mayor of Atlanta in the 80s.
In 1995, he came to Maine to speak at Bates College for their Martin Luther King Day events. News Center Maine's Jennifer Rooks was there.
The Bates Gospel Choir opened the service with one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s favorite songs, Precious Lord, Take My Hand. Andrew Young told the crowd when King listened to that song, he was looking for guidance and had no idea the civil rights movement would someday change the world.
And it changed the world by developing a philosophy not of conquering your opponent, but of redeeming your opponent. The slogan of Martin Luther King's organization was to redeem the soul of America.
And we celebrate King's birthday, Young said, not because he was black, but because he taught us to solve problems without violence.
He introduced a notion that we don't have to be enemies, that we can and must be brothers and sisters. And he said in a variety of ways, either we will learn to live together as brothers and sisters, or we'll perish together as fools. He said the bombs we drop on Vietnam will explode at home in unemployment and inflation. He said if we continue to have an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, we'll end up as a nation blind and toothless.
As much as the civil rights movement has done for America, Young stressed, it has not solved the gulf between rich and poor.
Just as Abraham Lincoln said, we could not survive as a nation half slave and half free. We can't survive as a nation 1/3 poor and 2/3 rich. With the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer.
And that, says Andrew Young, is what Martin Luther King Jr. would be preaching today.
Jennifer Rooks reporting in 1995. We've also spoken before with Andrew Young's daughter, Paula Young Shelton.
She, as you can imagine, grew up surrounded by some of the most influential civil rights leaders of the 60s. In 2010, we spoke with her about her book, Child of the Civil Rights Movement, and what it was like to grow up around the man she called Uncle Martin.
He was a great guy. I mean, I really remember his smile more than anything, and whenever we would see him, he was ready to give us a big hug and, you know, throw us up in the air, and he was just that kind of a guy. He was like your uncle.
A lot of Americans, particularly young Americans, may not fully appreciate what America was like in the 1950s and early 1960s, at least what the American South was like. Fully segregated. Give us a little sense of what it was like.
Well, it was a very segregated time in the South, and black people could not go everywhere. We couldn't go out to restaurants. We couldn't go to public swimming pools. We couldn't go to the movie theaters unless you wanted to sit up in the balcony, which at that time was not a good place to sit. And, you know, fortunately, my parents really protected us as children from a lot of that, and we just didn't go to a lot of places that were segregated because they didn't want us to know that there were people out there who didn't like us just because of the color of our skin.
Your dad, Andy Young, went on after working in the civil rights movement to become mayor of Atlanta and then the ambassador to the United Nations. Did you have any sense of how important the work was that he was doing, or were you just another little kid, like most of us, saying, well, Dad goes off and does his work and I don't really pay much attention to it?
Well, I was pretty much like that. It took me a long time to really know what my father exactly did. But, you know, I did realize that there was something significant going on and that he was out there working to help other people. And that, you know, my mother was a school teacher, and she was home with us most of the time and helped to create the stability and the comfort and safety that we grew up in. So we had a very normal childhood despite what my father was doing at the time.
Your book is to a large degree aimed at school children. What do you hope they'll get out of it?
Well, I want them to see Dr. King as a human being. I also want them to realize that as great as he was, he did not do it alone, that there were so many other people around him that supported him and guided him and helped to change the laws that make the America we have today.
You know, there are so many key important figures through history and in so many areas, but it's such a great reminder that there are children connected to those people, spouses, family members, that all experienced what they went through.
Right, and we're not far removed from it.
No.